Hello everybody, welcome back to the Pokémon Red version playthrough. Last time we explored Route 11, I think, and we got the bicycle. And we encountered a very disturbing person who probably is very into his Rapidash. Today we're doing the SS Sand, and this is a boring area. I don't like it. I don't like the color palette. I don't like this as a dungeon. It's very dull. Because basically these two areas that I've just shown off in the ship make up the entire dungeon. It's just full of hallways and small rooms with trainers that will battle you. With the exception of like some rooms which just have people that tell you random stuff. Or hidden items. And yeah, Growliths. I'm pretty sure I already spoke about Growlithe, but I like Growlithe. It's pretty cool. And that was Roar. I don't know how Roar works in first generation, but in the other games, it basically will swap out your target's Pokemon. So if you're using it on a trainer, you should be nice to friends. Thank you for that. If you use it on a trainer's Pokemon, then it will automatically switch whatever Pokemon you're currently facing with another in their team. You pup, how dare you barge in? I don't understand what that means. Though I do agree it is rather rude to just be waltzing into people's cabins without even knocking. I mean, who do Scoops think he is? Just barging into people's rooms. That's just so rude and inconvenient. Also, Nidoran is dead. Yay. But here's another one. That's kinda lame. And we will continue to peck it to death. And to prevent me from basically explaining what's going on screen, I have planned a couple of things to talk about during this part, because this is probably going to be a really long video. As much as I dislike having videos that go on for 30 minutes or more, because that's kind of a lot, and I know people don't really have that much time most of the time. Cherry pie, okay. I'm not your waiter, but now I know you want cherry pie. By the way, that's not like a side quest or anything. You can't actually get cherry pie for her. Although that would make for an interesting side quest, I guess. Anyways, stuff I wanted to talk about. This is a Wigglytuff, even though that's a Clefairy sprite. Recently, and by recently I mean within the last, like, month, I watched I guess you could call it a film that came out. It was a Pokemon film called Pokemon The Origin, or Pokemon Origins, depending on if you watched the English sub or dub. And I'd just like to note that it was a good short film. I don't know what I'm just gonna call it a film. I don't care. It was a good film. It had problems, pacing being one of them, since they had to cram the entirety of the game into like an hour and 20 minutes. And for those who don't know, I guess, The Origin was basically an anime film which tells the events of this very game, Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow. Mostly Red and Blue, though, because as we'll get to in the Yellow version playthrough, Yellow does actually do a lot of things differently in terms of how events unfold. But yeah, it was pretty good. I didn't like the pacing, as I already said. It skipped over a lot of things, mostly like gym battles. You saw, I think, 2 gym battles. 2 gym battles out of 8. Granted, I mean, only 2 of them were really important to the plot, I guess you could argue. But still, it just felt kind of weird when, whenever the film would just go, by the way, this happened, then then this happened, and then this happened. It kind of gives the audience all this information without really giving them the time to process it, which is, again, that's an issue with pacing, so yeah. And we got TM08, I don't know what that is. I would like to note that the SSN, this section of the game, got like 5 seconds, if that, worth mention, in the Origin, which was basically just showing... It just shows what you get for why this area is mandatory. Also, check these trash cans, because they're empty. Except this one. This one has a Great Ball. And like every Pokemon game after this has trash cans that you can check, and I will say 99% of the time they don't have anything in there, and I blame this game for making me check them because I always think that there's going to be stuff in it. Anyways, back to the Origin. You get a very important item from the end of this... I'm just gonna call it a dungeon, because that's pretty much what it is. It's a stupid item, and I don't like it. In fact, I believe I mentioned it in an earlier video, and about how stupid it was. But I'm not going to say what it is at the moment, because it's going to be at the end of this video. My other issue with the Origin was mostly that sometimes the animation took like this dive, mostly while animating, say, Charizard. He just looked really inconsistent. Even Red looked a little weird at times. But, I mean, otherwise the animation was fantastic, so I can't complain too much about it. And in terms of, because I know this is one thing that a lot of people are concerned about, in terms of comparing the dub and the sub, I would say the dub wasn't bad. I saw it after I saw the English subtitle version. It was just that the English dub wasn't as good. Some of the script felt a little bit weird because they had to translate it differently. Sometimes the script was very different at times, which, having watched the Japanese version, just made it a little bit, like I've said, it just makes it strange, odd. Besides that, I liked it. Probably would watch it again. I mean, I did watch it twice for the English dub and for the subtitles, so that says something. Especially considering how much I tend to like recent films nowadays. But yeah. That's pretty much what I wanted to... Oh, no, wait, there was one other thing I would like to say about the Origin before I move on to actually talking about something related to this area in the game. And that is... I just want to say, Red did more in the Origin than Ash did in the entirety of the first season of the Pokémon anime. Which is kind of sad, actually. Because how many episodes were in the first season of the Pokémon anime anyways? Like, I'm gonna guess probably around 70? Something like that? That's a lot of time, considering each episode was about 20 minutes. I mean, I don't like... You all should probably know at this point that I don't really like the Pokémon anime. I watch it for reasons unknown to me. But yeah. Anyways, that's enough about that. I should probably talk about the game now, because this is a playthrough. The SSN, and I'm betting people were waiting for me to bring this up eventually, is somewhat infamous for a certain mystery that is located in the area outside of the ship. Before I, entered onto the ship, there was sort of this boardwalk and water surrounding. If you were to sequence break the game, which is possible, I might talk about that after I mention this, you can actually find a strip of land with a truck that is just there. No one knows why it's there. There are theories that go into maybe it was an unused sprite, like there was originally going to be vehicles in the game or something, which I don't know how I would feel about that personally. Like, I would assume it would just be something like maybe there would have been a road and you would have just seen cars parked or something along those lines. Either way, no one knows why it's there. There was lots of rumors going around that what you could do was actually sequence break the game to get Surf, which is a special move that you can use to ride on the water, and then get to this truck, which is, by the way, the only way you can see it. You can't see the truck unless you were to sequence break. And in addition to this, you would also need a Strength HM, because part of the rumor was that if you used Strength on the truck, you would find the legendary Pokemon Mew. Obviously, this is false. I sincerely doubt anyone really believes that that's true, and if they do, they're a terrible person, and I hate them. Not really. What's interesting about this is that Game Freak actually remade this truck sprite and placed it into the same spot in the remix of this very game, Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green versions on the Game Boy Advance. And what they did was they actually placed a lava cookie in that same area, possibly as a reference to the rumors that were going around that the truck served some kind of purpose, that there was some sort of secret there, which I think is actually really cool. I think it's neat that Game Freak could acknowledge a rumor like that and make it so that you still have to work to get to it, because you still have to sequence break to get to the truck in Fire Red and Leaf Green. Which, in my opinion, just makes it a lot more fun of a secret. With that, I think I'll also use this time to, since I mentioned Fire Red and Leaf Green, talk a bit about those games, because I can tell you all right now, there is not going to be a Fire Red or Leaf Green playthrough in the future, mostly because it's not very different from this. It's just kind of like, if you took this game and, you know, upped the graphical and sound capabilities, and, you know, introduced some of the mechanics that Generation 3 have, like abilities, Pokemon abilities, and, you know, obviously the additions of Dark and Steel types that Generation 2 had. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like those games. I just feel that they could have done a bit more to, I don't know, they feel like the bare minimum of a remake to me. For instance, you can only get first generation Pokemon in that game, up until the post-game, in which case you magically unlock the ability to find Generation 2 Pokemon, and I believe you actually need a certain amount of Pokédex entries in order to get that, in order to find Generation 2 Pokemon. Which is really stupid in my opinion. I mean, why withhold that from the player just because they're not filling their Pokédex? Just silly. In addition to that, I also don't like how certain evolutions were handled. Because Generation 2 Pokemon are a big no-no in Fire Red and Leaf Green, this also affects Pokemon that were given evolutions in Generation 2. For example, I don't believe we've seen this Pokemon yet, but Golbat, which is the evolution of Zubat, received an evolution in Generation 2, Crobat. Crobat is obtained by evolving Golbat with enough happiness. And so if your Golbat has enough happiness in Fire Red and Leaf Green before you finish the game, you will get this evolution screen every time it levels up while happy. And the evolution screen will start, it'll, go through the sequence, and then automatically cancel it, and just give you this message that says ... question mark. Which, that's just obnoxious. There is no reason for that. I mean, if you want to keep the evolutions away, that's fine, but don't show me the evolution screen, and then just cancel it on me. That's taunting. And like I said, that's obnoxious. There's no reason for it. And I find that to be a legitimately poor design choice in the game. But, you know, from this, you know, don't assume that I dislike Fire Red and Leaf Green. Like I said, I think they're decent games. It's just, they don't stand out, they're a bit bland. Because, I mean, hey, there's only so much you can do, apparently, to spice up Generation 1. Or at least Game Freak seems to think so. That said, I actually wouldn't mind another Generation 1 remake, so long as it does a lot to differentiate itself. You know, simply giving it a graphical and sound overhaul is not going to be enough. At least not for me. And excuse me while I go heal. And with that, let's move on. Because, yeah, one thing I will say that kinda, I guess, redeems the SSN is that most of this is really optional. You don't need to do, like, any of these rooms. I just would recommend doing it because, if you don't fight these trainers now, oh, by the way, that's the sleeping Pokemon that we saw on Route 12 or whatever. If you don't fight these trainers now, you really won't have a chance to do so later. Once you obtain the key item of this area and leave, the ship is actually going to set sail, and you will never, ever, ever be able to come back, which is, like, kind of weird to have this sort of mid-game point of no return. But, eh. I guess I don't mind. Though it also means you can't hear the music for this area, which that's something I haven't spoken about yet, the music in this game. I like the SSN theme, it's pretty good. I like the remix in Fire Red and Leaf Green since it's done in piano, sounds really nice. Unfortunately, the soundtrack for this game is kind of, I won't say ruined, but I've never been a fan of 8-bit music. It can really grate on me after a few minutes, and I'll actually admit, on my first playthrough of Pokémon Yellow, I actually played most of the game with the sound off. It really annoyed me. That said, the melodies themselves I think are fine. It's just I'm not a fan of 8-bit. That said, I don't like the random encounter theme in this game. It's... I don't know how to describe it. I think it's just boring, which is strange, because I like the remixes that have been used in, say, the anime, or in the Origin. I even like the remix in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, which are the remakes of Generation 2. Not a fan of the Fire Red and Leaf Green versions of the Wild Encounter theme, though. Also, look, it's Pikachu. Let's destroy it with Horn Attack, because I don't feel like using something else. And Pikachu's dead, yay. But, back to the music. I would say First Generation's music is probably my least favorite of all the Pokemon games. Not to say it's bad, it's just, it doesn't really stand out to me. Most of the battle themes are very good, though. I like the Gym Leader theme, the Trainer theme. I like the final battle theme, which I'm not gonna spoil what that is, even though most of you people have probably already played this game. Or already know what I'm talking about, either or. Ah yes, I have seen some Pokemon ferry people across the water. Yeah, I don't know what the purpose of this room was. Like, there was nothing beneficial in that room. Which do you like, a strong or a rare Pokemon? Well, generally rare Pokemon are strong, so... I don't know, I guess I would go with the rare one. Can I not choose either of them? Can I just pick a cool Pokemon? Because I like cool Pokemon. If it has a cool design, it's, you know, already on my good side. Though there are plenty of neat-looking Pokemon that are actually kind of lousy in battle, unfortunately. I'm not going to mention names, but people who know me well know probably exactly what I'm talking about. Also, this is Ponyta. I don't think we've fought this before. Ponyta is, as you probably guessed, a fire type. And I don't really like it, honestly. It's not that great. I don't find it to be all that useful. Its design is okay, even though its eyes are terrifyingly soulless, but yeah. And its design actually changes quite a bit into a second generation. It looks quite a bit different from what we just saw. And it evolves into a Pokemon that is very fast, but it's still not very good. It evolves into basically a flaming unicorn, which makes me want some kind of evolution for it to be like a Pegasus. That would be actually pretty cool. Be like fire and flying. Actually, that's something that I haven't really spoken about. Mega evolutions. Now that X and Y are out, Mega evolutions have been added to existing Pokemon, which I don't really understand what they are since I haven't played X and Y yet. Don't tell me what they are if you know, because I haven't played X and Y, probably won't for a while, but I want it to be fresh when I play it. I want it to be a totally new experience. So, yeah. I'm assuming how they work, though, is like, based on what I saw in The Origin, because, spoilers, something happens at the end, which I won't say it reveals a Mega Evolution, but it definitely it shows one off that we already knew about. And based on what happens there, it seems like it's just a temporary thing, and I really hope it isn't. I really hope it's not just something that happens in battle, and then boom, the evolution is gone, because that would be kind of stupid in my opinion. It sort of eliminates the purpose of giving them, you know, another form. In my opinion. I don't know, I haven't seen it, so maybe it works in a way that, you know, is passable, a way that I can excuse. The captain looked really sick and pale. I hear many people get seasick. Why are you two having a conversation about seasickness here? That's, like, not good at all. I don't want to go this way just yet. Because there's going to be something that happens if I go there. And I haven't fought all the trainers yet, so I would like to go here first. Go away, I don't care about you. We are now on the deck, I think. And this is a trainer. Ahoy there, are you seasick? No, I don't know why you would think that. Look at that sailor and his smug little face. Yep. Oh yeah, that's, wait, why am I paralyzed? Did something paralyze me before and I just didn't notice? I guess I was like so into whatever I was talking about music and such, that I didn't notice that I was paralyzed. Yeah, paralysis, I don't think I've talked about it yet. It's a status effect, which, essentially it gives you, I think, like a 50% chance of not being able to attack on that turn, well, for your turn while you're paralyzed. And paralysis doesn't go away until you heal it with either a paralyze heal, a full restore, or, you know, a Pokemon Center. It's not like in the Final Fantasy games where it's just this temporary thing that goes away after a few turns, which is kinda dumb. So, let's see, let's talk to this guy. Oh, this is the weirdest, like, edge of a ship I've ever seen. It's just made of blocks. And I believe this guy... yeah, it's this guy. He's seasick, I guess. I assume that's what Earth means. Scrubbing decks is hard work. Oh, I almost expected to get into a battle. The line was random enough. Let's do a little jig. Wow, you're like as stereotypical as you could possibly be. So, while I'm doing this, I would like to say, if you, for whatever reason, want to see the truck that I mentioned, leave one trainer that you haven't fought yet, and make sure you battle it probably with like the weakest Pokemon you can. The only way that you can sequence break this area is to basically get the key item of the area, and then go and fight whatever trainer you saved, and lose the battle. This will take you back to the Pokemon Center, because that's what happens when you lose a battle. You black out, lose money, and then you are back at the Pokemon Center, the last Pokemon Center you were at. So basically, this bypasses the event of the ship leaving, and you're able to move on with the key item. Which is kinda neat, I guess, for people who are into that sort of thing. I'm not. Anyways, I'm going to switch numbers in Punk, because Punk needs to level up. And at this point, I'm actually going to go heal to prepare for the event that's going to happen when I go down that other hallway. The one that I deliberately said I didn't want to go down. So, be right back. Alright, let's do this. I'm not particularly looking forward to this, mostly because I didn't really do like a test recording to make sure I'm prepared. But yeah, it's falafel. You can't speak French. Imagine seeing you here. Scoops, were you really invited? What's that supposed to mean? And how did he get a ticket here? I already caught 40 kinds, pal. Oh, good for you. Different kinds are everywhere. Crawl around in grassy areas. No thanks. That wasn't even like a proper battle line. You just told me what to do, and now we're battling. Also, this is Pidgeotto. I don't know if we saw this already. It's quite possible. Pidgeotto is the evolved form of Pidgey. And I still don't like Pidgeotto. Like, at all. Also, yay. Critical Fury Attack. That's always nice to get. And Pidgeotto's dead, because it's dumb, and I hate it. Actually, no, I don't hate it. I used a Pidgey on my very first run of Fire Red, which, by the way, was my first Pokemon game. Wow. Okay, then. And how do you still have a... Did you not evolve your Pokemon at all? I mean, not evolve, level up. No, what you did, because you had an Abra last time. Kadabra's pretty neat. I like Kadabra. He's a cool psychic type. He's not the strongest psychic type in the game. That would probably be, I'm not including legendaries, I would say Alakazam, which is the evolved form of Kadabra. But the only way to get Alakazam is through, trading, which I don't believe I've talked about yet. Basically, like, the big thing with Pokemon when it came out was that you could trade between versions. It encouraged the use of... I don't remember what it was called, like the Game Boy Link cable thing. And basically what this allowed you to do was you could link your Pokemon Red, Blue, or Yellow version with someone else's Pokemon Red, Blue, or Yellow version. And you could use it to, like, battle each other, or you could trade Pokemon between each other so that you could fill your Pokedex. And, yeah, it was pretty cool at the time. And nowadays, it's just depressing because, yeah, it means if you don't have friends, then you can't trade and you can't complete the Pokedex. Also, cut being useful. Ha! Ha! Yeah, cut's the, key item that we're going to be getting in this next room from this guy, but first I want to read this book. How to Conquer Seasickness. The captain's reading this. Yeah, that is pretty terrible. Yuck, shouldn't have looked. I feel hideous? I don't think that's the right word you are looking for, Game Freak. I'm just saying. I'm standing over here. Oh. Okay, that was slightly awkward. Thank you, I feel much better. You want to see my cut technique? I could show you if I wasn't ill. I know, you can have this. Teach it to your Pokémon, and you can see it... Wait, and you can see it cut anytime. Yay, HM01, that's cut. I hate cut, it's stupid. Now that I'm not sick anymore, I guess it's time. It's time? Yeah, now that we've done this, the ship's gonna sail away. So, boo-hoo, I guess. I don't really care. I don't like this area. I really don't. But this actually went better than I expected. I was expecting to have to come up with, like, tons of filler to fill inevitable silence. Seriously. Wait, did I go in these rooms? Yeah, okay, I did. I couldn't remember. Because I don't want to, you know, leave stuff behind. Not like I care. Anyways, there's the SS Anne. It's sailing away. Bye, SS Anne. I hate you. I hope you sink. I guess. Not really. And I can't move during this, by the way. I'm forced to watch the SS Anne sail away. Okay. And that does it. We are now done with the SS Anne forever. Because, for whatever reason, they decided not to bring back the SS Anne in any other game. Basically, what one of those sailors will actually tell you, I think on the boardwalk. I think he's on the boardwalk, I'm not sure. He basically just says that the SS Anne comes once every year. However, this game doesn't have a time-based system, so basically that just means it'll never come back, unless you restart your game. And Fire Red and Leaf Green also did this, which, yeah, kinda odd, I guess. Anyways, with that, this is probably a super long video, and I'm very sorry about that. But we're done with the SS Anne. I can't properly express how happy I am that that's over, because that's probably the most boring part of the game over with. Besides another area, which I don't want to speak about right now because it's so bad. So with that, that'll conclude this part of Pokemon Red version, and I'll see you all in the next part when we take on the Vermilion City Gym, which I'm not particularly looking forward to because the puzzle in it is bad, and I don't like it. But, you know, that's the next episode. So, see you all then.